Very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to CGB Mentors. So here we are to discuss the PIB article for the days of 28th and 29th of October. I hope I'm audible and properly visible to all of you. Let's start the session. Uh, this session is going to be very short. There is nothing very huge news that we are going to discuss today. So very shortly we are going to start. Okay. So just a minute. So the very first news that we will be discussing, that will be about the NITI Aayog's 2 report. Okay. Yes, just a minute. Yes. So these are the reports which are released by NITI Aayog, and it will provide you some of the insights about the employment pattern in our economy. So there are 3 major sectors in our economy: the primary sector, secondary sector, and the tertiary sector, that is majorly dominated by our service sector. Okay. So here they have provided us some kind of information with these reports. So the CEO of NITI Aayog, that is BVR Subramaniam, he has released the 2 reports which is called the GVA, that will be providing you insights from the GVA trends of the service sector at the state level dynamics, and the India service sector insight on the matters of employment trend with respect to your national and the state level. So these are the 2 reports that is released by the NITI Aayog. So what are the highlights here? So the name of report is as such not very important. What is important here, that it examines the national and state level trend. Okay, so किस type का employment trend देखा जा रहा है? We are seeing that with the time and span, the tertiary sector, it is contributing a lot in our GDP. Okay, so just see here, in 2024-25 the service sector, it has contributed how much to our GDP. So that sorry, in the GVA, so 55% is being contributed by the service sector in the gross value added. Okay, so GVA में सबसे ज़्यादा जो contribution है, that has been done by the service sector, and then we have our primary sector and the tertiary sector, which are contributing to 16% and 29%. You know this very fact that the primary sector, or the agriculture sector, it is employing a lot of people. So most of the workforce, it is going there and they are getting employed there. But the the production or the kind of output that the primary sector is giving to us, it is not at par with what is provided by the tertiary sector. So after this agriculture or the primary sector, it is the service sector or the tertiary sector which is employing the largest population or the labor force. Okay, so that is something you can talk about, the potential of the service sector. Now there is some kind of a structural transformation that we can see. So between this particular decade 2011-12 से लेकर के, when we compare this with 2023-24, the share of primary sector has been recorded in a decline trend. Okay, so earlier it was uh, the primary sector was contributing to 21.8%. now it is only contributing to 16.7%. so that you can mention in your descriptive answer also, what kind of a declining trend you can identifying in our Indian economy. Okay, so the primary sector's contribution is declining, but the secondary sector's contribution is increasing. And you can also again talk about the 55% contribution by service sector in the GVA. So secondary sector, it is more or large, it is stable at the rate of 28 to 29%. Okay, and it is expanding also. Okay, so secondary sector is stable 28-29% pay, and the service sector is expanding. Okay, that is 49% earlier it was, now it is 54.5%. Okay, now there are certain states like Karnataka, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, most of the southern states, and the Maharashtra, this is the financial capital of our country, they are the major states who are contributing a lot in the service oriented economy. So that is, you have to draw from this that this structural pattern has been identified, that the primary sector's contribution is declining, secondary sector contribution is at the stable rate, but the tertiary sector or the service sector is contributing, and its contribution is expanding in our economy. And also you can talk with this data, what this data signifies, that there is some kind of a regional disparity. When we talk about the northern and southern states, there is the huge gap between the the contribution that is being done by these states in terms of the service sector. Okay, so that you can talk. Also, what are the other highlights in terms of the employment trend? So they have talked about the service sector, that there are some kind of a disparity in terms of the the sectors, in terms of the gender and the regions, also the education attainment in the different regions. So here in 2023-24, it engaged, the service sector has engaged 188 million workers. So that is the number of workers who are engaged in service sector, absorbing the labor at the scale and displaying the resilience. So this particular sector has a resilience of attracting the labor force, because this is one of the sector which is more profitable and more it is kind of a providing more income to the employees also, or the workers. Okay, however, we have seen during the pandemic time period, when we were facing, the economy was facing some shocking situation, so it has also it was impacted also. Now as we have talked about the southern states which are mentioned here, they have high productivity, but the Bihar, Madhya Pradesh or the other northern state, they are not doing as compared to the southern states. Now here, so because of this particular report, there are certain challenges we can identify with the help of this report. Okay, so what is this? That we have seen that there are some areas where we can work upon. Okay, so that the acceleration of the formalization of the workforce, we have seen that more and more people are getting employed, 188 million people are getting employed in the service sector, and ये profit भी दे रहा है, but this service sector is more or less informal. So we have to bring the formalization of this sector. जो आपकी social security related जो आपकी facilities हैं, that should be extended to the workers of the who are coming from the gig worker community, MSME workers हैं, etc. Okay, या self employed हैं. Also we have seen that there are the regional disparity और the gender disparity. Rural areas में जो आप देखेंगे service sector में जो contribution है labor participation, it is less than the urban areas. Also gender basis पे there is this disparity, that we see that there are more men in the service sector as compared to the women. Okay, so there is a less feminization of service sector. Okay, also here the pillar 3 talks about that we can invest in the technology part also, leading to the skill generation that will help in our vision with respect to the green economy or the sustainable economy. Okay, and also there is this regional growth disparity that we have talked about, northern and southern region में जो disparity है, rural या urban areas में disparity है. So here we have to fill it. Okay, so tier 2 tier 3 cities में जो एक तरीके से एक inclusion रखना चाहिए, inclusive access की बात की है in this particular thing by supporting the services hubs in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Okay, I hope you got the very idea of this particular report which was unveiled by the NITI Aayog. Now the next report is reimagining the manufacturing, India's roadmap to global leadership in the advanced manufacturing. So in the coming years, we want to become one of the 3 global manufacturers of the world. Okay, so manufacturing sector is again, manufacturing sector को promote करने के लिए PLI scheme has been run by the government of India, and there are other scheme which talks about promoting the manufacturers' interest. Okay, so here this particular report talks about that only. so it is being unveiled by the NITI Aayog's Frontier Tech Hub. Okay, so this is being unveiled by this particular hub of the NITI Aayog. They have talked about that we can also bring some kind of a rapid advancement in the manufacturing sector with the help of the introduction of the technology like AI, machine learning, advanced materials, etc. Again, if the question comes on AI, okay, so you can have a separate heading on that. AI will advance the different economic sectors of our country. So here you can talk about the manufacturing sector, and also this report of NITI Aayog, where it talks about we should integrate AI or machine learning in the manufacturing sector. Okay, now here they have also talked about the manufacturing sector could contribute over 25% of the national GDP. Okay, so national GDP may there would be a huge contribution that could be done by the manufacturing sector. It can generate more than 100 plus million jobs with this. Okay, so manufacturing sector would be a key driver in terms of bringing the sustainable and exponential growth in our economy. Then we have some plan. Okay, so here they have talked about the advanced manufacturing vision of 2035. Okay, so here they have planned that in the developed India, what kind of a vision we should be having with respect to the manufacturing sector. So here they have identified that we have to focus on the long-term competitiveness. We have to compare ourselves with the peer countries who are performing well in the different manufacturing sector. We have to compete with them. Then we have to focus on the supply chain resilience, so we have to build upon that. Make in India, that is one of the great initiatives we have to focus upon. And the skill generation, that is again the huge source of the skill, the employment generation. Then inclusive development ki baat ki hai, and also the value innovation, right? Now here they have talked about the roadmap for 2035 for the manufacturing sector. So they have talked about the key frontier technology that can be incorporated in the manufacturing sector. And अगर हम ऐसा नहीं करते हैं, so there are the potential loss by 2035 that we can incur, that is of 270 billion US dollar. Okay, so 270 billion US dollar का एक तरीके से loss our economy can incur if we are not integrating this particular frontier technology in the manufacturing sector. Okay, also 1 trillion US dollar by 2047 in additional manufacturing GDP. Okay, now there is a 10-year strategic roadmap starting from 2026 till 2035. So it is a comprehensive set of vision that is targeting the or transforming the India's manufacturing sector. Okay, and यहाँ पे key idea क्या है, India को global leader बनाना in terms of the manufacturing. So here there are 3 phases which are mentioned here. So first we will be building the ecosystem for the manufacturing sector, then we will be accelerating it, and then we will talk about the sustenance of it. Okay, so काफी phased manner में इसका development होगा, that is mentioned here in this particular picture. And phase 1 will be working from 2026 till 2028. Phase 2 will be operative from 2029 till 2031, and phase 3 will be operative from 2031 till 2035. Okay, now we have a social issue related article here targeting the elderly population of India. So elderly population, it is kind of a rapidly growing in our economy. Okay, so हमारे जो demographic transition है वहाँ पे हम देख रहे हैं at in this moment we are having the largest youth population in our country. जो आपके demographic dividend हैं, who will be utilized in the workforce and economic जो activities होती हैं जिनमें उनका participation होगा. On the other hand, we are also having this challenge that after this there are this working population, after certain age they will get turned into elders. Okay, so that will be a kind of a burden on our economy. Okay, क्योंकि elderly population, they are relied on someone. Okay, so here they have this particular article talks about the rapid demographic transition in our economy. Elderly population यानी ऐसे लोग जिनकी age more than 60 या 60 years या फिर उससे ज़्यादा है. So इनकी जो population है, it is estimated that it has been doubled. Okay, so in 2011 it was 100 million and now it is 230 million by 2036. Okay, so अभी जो आपको youth population काम करते हुए दिख रही है, आने वाले time में they will get aged. Okay, so 230 million by 2036 is the estimation of the elderly population in our country. And you know that what is the condition of Japan. Japan has highest burden of the elderly people, and if in case the Japan does not have this proper social security coverage in its country, then ये जो burden है वो और भी ज़्यादा daunting हो जाएगा for the Japanese government, right? So here that's the reason we are focusing upon the different schemes, different pension schemes, जो कि ये ensure करता है after the retirement of yours, or after you get, you know, you pass a certain age, that is 60 or 60 years से ज़्यादा, you get dependent. So वो dependency कम करने के लिए, आपको social security या फिर आपको एक तरीके से stability provide करने के लिए, there are certain government scheme that is being run. Okay, so here we have seen that again जो elderly population है, in terms of what you have seen that कहीं ना कहीं regional level पे disparity है when we talk about the the development activities in our economy. So we have seen service sector के development में southern states ज़्यादा contribute कर रही हैं. वैसे ही here the burden is also on the shoulders of the southern countries, because most of the southern states, they have highest burden of the elderly people. Okay, so they have to prepare for these kind of initiative that will provide them the security. Okay, yeah, that is what I'm saying, M&M, that Japan ke paas the best of the social security coverage and plans it has. Okay, and that is the reason wo jo aapke Japanese elderly people hain, they live more than 100 years also, okay, without being dependent on someone. Have you seen such kind of videos where we see that there are a kind of a restaurant or cafe which is being run by these elderly people who have crossed the age of 100 years? Okay, so they are self-reliant people. Okay, they are not dependent on their children, because we know that कि जब आपकी जो एज हो जाती है, then you get dependent. आप financial level पे, emotional level पे अलग, या physical level पे you are dependent on your children. Okay, and in India we see that there are less percentage of the social security coverage that is provided to the elderly people, that is less than 10%. And also we see there are highest incidence of the physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse that is done on these elderly people. Okay, and also there is this globalization, urbanization, and we see that because of these global phenomena, we have seen that the family pattern in our country, it is changing. Okay, so earlier we used to live in a joint family setup. Now we have turned this into the nuclear family, and nuclear family mein there is no place for the elderly people. So chahe wo out of compulsion ho, the people are moving from their traditional household to the new setup, there are the kind of challenges that these elderly people are facing, right? So उसी के ऊपर इन्होंने बात की है. As I said, regional disparity, highest burden is on the states like southern states of Tamil Nadu, etc., or Kerala, and also there are the states from northern areas, that is Himachal Pradesh and Punjab. They are having the highest elderly population by 2036. So in this line, the article talks about the several initiatives run by the government of India. So this is the moment where you can talk about the several initiatives. So question कैसे होंगे, social security के ऊपर होंगे. So they will be talking about the Atal Pension Yojana. So अगर Atal Pension Yojana के ऊपर कोई question आता है, if it is short paragraph में भी है, so you can start with one line, and that one line would be by 2036 our elderly population will get double. Okay, and that is the reason we have to talk about providing or extending these social security initiatives or the services to the elderly people, and then start writing about the Atal Pension Yojana. Okay, so that will be more impactful. Right now, Atal Pension Yojana, this is a flagship social security scheme of the government of India, and it is being administered by PFRDA, that is Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. Okay, idea क्या है, आपको एक specific minimum एक pension provide करना after you get retired. So it was launched on May 9, 2015, and it is open to certain the age group of people, that is you have to attain the age of 18 to 40. So अगर आपको इसमें contribute करना है, so you have to be in this certain age group criteria. Okay, and you should be having the saving bank account. There is some in the criteria on which your participation can be rejected, that is the if you are the taxpayer from 1st of October 2022, then you will not be getting the benefits under the Atal Pension Yojana. Also, it provides a minimum monthly pension of 1,000 to 5,000 rupees after you attain the age of 60 years. Now, Atal Pension Yojana ka abhi landmark achievement was that in October 5, 2025, it has crossed 8.27 crore subscriber. So 8 crore se bhi zyada iske subscriber ho gaye. That was the latest, the update in this. Then we have Atal Vayu Abhyuday Yojana. This is the scheme of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. It will be empowering the senior citizens across the different areas of our country. Then we have integrated program for senior citizen scheme. Okay, so here it is a grant and aid based program, okay, which is implemented by different agency, okay, like Panchayati Raj institution, there are NGOs, etc. So they will be coming together and they are taking the responsibility of these elderly people. Then we have Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana. Okay, so Rashtriya Vayoshri Yojana, it was launched in April 2017, and here this particular Yojana actually provide the living devices, okay, because जब आप aged हो जाते हो, you have some kind of a eye issue, hearing issue आ जाता है. So that is the reason जो भी senior citizen हैं who are not able to afford these equipment or these devices, so उनको ये जो body है which manufactures the artificial limbs manufacturing corporation, that is LMCO, that is a PSU, that is public sector and undertaking, ये आपको manufacture करती है आपके living devices को, and that is being provided to them or the elderly people. Okay, so the particular scheme targets the senior citizens who belong to the BPL. Okay, so this is the income criteria. Okay, sabhi ko nahi diya jayega. If you are from the BPL or the poor category, then you will get the benefit of this, or those with the monthly income not exceeding then 15,000 rupees. Okay, so that is this criteria. Then we have a toll free number through which any kind of abuse can be reported by these elderly people, that is 14567. But it is seen that this reporting is not done properly, because जो आपके elderly people हैं, again they are dependent and they are reluctant to report their abuses. Okay, now senior able citizens for re-employment in dignity. So sacred portal, it is a portal where the the retired people or the senior citizens, they can get the jobs, okay, as per their capability, as per their skills, they can get the job. So work opportunities sacred portal se milta hai. We have also celebrated International Day of Older Persons on 1st of October, यानी recently हमने किया. And then we have this flagship initiative, आयुष्मान भारत प्रधानमंत्री जन आरोग्य योजना, 5 लाख का जो annual health care coverage दिया जाता है for the secondary and tertiary care, क्योंकि medical जो आपके facilities होते हैं, treatment, they are very expensive, and covering these tertiary care services or secondary care services, they are more expensive. So यहाँ पे उन्हें cover किया गया है, and this kind of healthcare facilities are being extended to the elderly people again. Then we have integrated cold chain value addition infrastructure, that is from 29th of October. Okay, ठीक है. Now, so integrated cold chain value addition infrastructure, we know that our food market or our food production, जो भी हम crop produce कर रहे हैं, they are facing some kind of a challenge. That challenge is more significant for the perishable item. So in the lack of this cold storage facilities या जो आपके supply chain का जो value है, if it is not very much strengthened, then these items, they get perished. Okay, so that is the area that is being identified by Ministry of Food Processing Industry. जो proper processing है, that can be done properly. Okay, so that is a part of Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Okay, so they are running this integrated cold chain value addition infrastructure scheme. Idea क्या है, हमारा जो cold chain है उसको properly execute करें, storage facilities बनाएं, and जो perishable आपके items हैं उनको longer या फिर उनको durability provide करें in the market. Okay, now there is this mid, okay, that is called Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. Very important scheme, centrally sponsored scheme hai aapki. So it is again about the expansion and modernization of the storage facilities in our country with the capacity of up to 5,000 metric ton. Okay, Then we have Operation Green Scheme. So there are the items like vegetables, fruits. तो उनको यहाँ पे एक तरीके से उनकी जो पोस्ट हार्वेस्ट फैसिलिटीज है उनको इंश्योर करने के लिए दिस पर्टिकुलर स्कीम इज बीइंग रन अंडर प्रधानमंत्री किसान संपदा योजना सिंस 2018 and 19. Okay, so that will help the farmers who are producing the vegetables and fruits. Then we have National Horticulture Board. So this is the implementing agency for capital investment subsidy for construction expansion, modernization of cold storage. So that is one liner that you need to remember. Okay, now here under this particular scheme there are the credit linked subsidy that is provided for the general areas. The capital cost which is incurred by the government is 35%. For the northern eastern hilly areas or the scheduled areas that particular percentage is 50%. Okay, also यहाँ पे जो cold storage की capacity है it runs from 50,000 metric tons to 5,000 metric tons to 20,000 metric ton. Okay, so please remember this particular fact. The government is focusing on having a seamless cold chain for the better food processing sector. Then we have AIF, that is Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. इसका जो total corpus है that is of 1 lakh crore rupees, and here it again talks about providing you the loan at the minimum interest rate. आप अगर individual farmers हो, FPOs हो, so this particular AIF fund is being utilized to provide you credits. Okay, so here you can avail the collateral free term loans up to 2 crore rupees. So that is the amount 2 crore rupees के एक minimum interest subvention का यहाँ पे criteria है that is of 3% per annum on the term loan. Okay, now financial assistance the government is providing. July 2025 में additional corpus जो approve किया गया था for this प्रधानमंत्री किसान संपदा योजना that is of 1920 crore rupees. Very important, total कितना है 6520 crore का. Okay, that is matching the cycle of 15th Finance Commission. Okay, then we have 1000 crore rupees which is supporting the 50 multi-product food irradiation units. Okay, so there are certain important the parameters on which the government is focusing on, and also building the resilient food processing sector. Okay, so that is some of the article that we have covered from 28th to 29th of October. Thank you so much, and let's meet in the next session to discuss more articles.